After just a few minutes of duking it out in ARMS, it's easy to see that Nintendo's new fighting game for Switch has more in common with Street Fighter than it does Punch-Out! The rhythm and flow of an ARMS match sets up the same tense, electric moments of modern competitive games. And it relies on the same basic combat triangle, where punches beat throws, throws beat blocks, and blocks beat punches. ARMS has a lot in common with its genre contemporaries in that it packs multiple layers of data into its metagame, but it also has some wacky modes that let you have a little fun with its core ideas. ARMS builds a unique fighting game around a simple-to-execute motion control scheme, but I quickly learned that's hardly a reason for concern. Before you run off screaming about the unreliability of gyro sensor-based controls, just hear me out, because ARMS leverages these controls in smart ways. General movement, punches, throws, and blocking are tied to simple gestures that don't require a lot of effort to pull off. But equally important features like jumping and dodging are mapped to the L and R buttons. This setup helps ARMS find an accessible middle ground where you can leap, bob, and weave until you find the right opportunity to strike. Once I wrapped my brains around how to fight, I found that the controls never hindered my ability to throw a punch. In fact, flailing more often than not leads to failing in ARMS. It's important to note that I didn't get to play it using the buttons and stick control scheme supported by handheld mode, which means I can't tell you how they compare. Nintendo unveiled 4 new fighters and each one had a unique speciality. There's Twintel, a masked femme fatale that fights using her hair. Kid Cobra is a slithery opponent that can use rapid dodges to maneuver around punches, and then there's Bite and Bark, a blue and gold RoboCop with a canine assistant that work together on the field. You can see Bark will throw his own punches, and as someone who is on the receiving end of those blows, I can say that it will drive your opponents crazy. Coupling these characters with specific arms gives you a bunch of options, from slowly moving megaton punches to whip-like boomerangs. Once you mix in charged up attacks, you can rack up even more damage. The standard one-on-one fighting action can be thrilling, but ARMS has some zany modes that help give it some fun variety. In Skill Shot, you face off against an opponent on the opposite side of a shooting range filled with targets. The goal is to get a higher score, and yes, you can take potshots at your foe during a round in an effort to hit more targets than they can. Hoops is a zanier idea that's played on an actual basketball court. In it, you execute a throw and dunk your opponent through the hoop for an easy 2 points. You can even launch a rival for a sweet 3-point shot using special moves from behind the arc. Of all the modes though, I found the frantic 2v2 match a little too chaotic compared to the other 1 vs 1 modes. It's difficult to keep up with what's happening since so much is going on at once. After spending a few hours with ARMS, I got a better understanding of why it works, and I feel like I've only scratched the surface. The combination of different gloves and character abilities could add significant layers of depth. I had my doubts, but my recent hands-on session made me a believer in ARMS. Now if you're looking for more ARMS coverage, check out our beginner and advanced tip videos with some expert commentary from Nintendo. And for all things ARMS, you're already in the right place at IGN.